Hi guys, and welcome to my new channel SFN RC. Today I'm here to talk about my new build, which is only my second, for the Axial Capra from Horizon Hobbies. I've been inspired to take on this truck and this build after completing my first RC truck, which was the Charisma Scale Adventure SCE-1E Coyote. Really enjoyed putting that one together. Learned a huge amount of things because I didn't know anything before I started building it. Had to learn about radios, servos, what you need, motors, all that stuff. So here we are, second build, and what I want to take you through today is what I've put together to try and make this Capra a bit special. It's a semi-budget build. We're not going brushless with this kit, but I've got some nice components to put together and I hope you're going to like it. So guys, in the rundown of the basic components I've put together for the Capra build, we'll start off with the tyre and wheel combination that I've gone for. I've chosen the Proline Hyrax Predator 1.9 tyres to go on the truck. Really pleased to get hold of a set of these for it. I'm quite excited to see how well they're going to perform. They've got a great reputation. They've got single stage foams in at the moment. Most likely going to move to the dual stage foams at some point in the near future. Maybe after the build's finished initially. I'm pairing those tyres with these SSD Rock Racer aluminium wheels. Really excited to get these. Actually had the standard wheels, plastic ones, the beadlocks that I kept on the Coyote kit, and they perform great, but I just figured that these wheels are going to look amazing on the Capra, and just that real cool little extra touch over the plastic beadlocks that come standard in the kit. As we go through the build, if I hit any snags or any tips and hints on installing these on the truck, I will go through those as we proceed. Another addition in terms of wheel and tyre is the brass portal covers that I've bought. These are just generic ones bought from a well-known auction site. Some of these are branded, some aren't. I suspect they're probably all made in the same facility. These very pleasingly do fit inside the Rock Racer wheel rims. I've already tried that to make sure they will fit on there. What these will do is give us a good bit of boost to the centre of gravity by carrying the weight at the end of the axles without adding to the rotating mass by putting wheel weights in. In order to help those blend in a little bit with the rest of the truck, I've brought some brass black, which will do a good job of making the brass go to a nice black finish and help those blend in. So again, I'll talk you through and do some videos of how that goes in the process and see how well that works. Moving on to some of the electronics, I've opted for a Power HD 20 kilo waterproof servo for the steering at the front. This is a budget compromise to a degree. It's obviously better than a normal standard cheap servo. It's got a little bit of power in there, it gets some good reviews. It'll more than be capable for what I need for the time being. Obviously it's a component that you can really bust the budget on with these things, and it may well be that that will get upgraded at some point in the future, but it's a good starting point for me for now, I think. The Capra, as some of you may know, has a dig feature available on the transmission, which means it can switch into two-wheel drive to front wheel drive only and lock up the back axle to give it a tighter turning circle. The dig function normally comes with a servo that's specifically intended for that feature. I couldn't get hold of one of those, so I've bought a Power HD TR4 servo, which I believe is originally intended to go into the Traxxas TRX4 trucks, but I believe that I can make this work and adapt it to operate the dig function. I believe it is a little bit more powerful. It is a waterproof servo as well. I think some other builders have actually managed to install this in the truck successfully, so we'll see how that goes during the course of the build. I will of course do some feature videos on that as to how that works, if it doesn't work in fact, and what modifications etc. I need to do to get it to fit. I also opted to upgrade the steering servo horn with the Axial 25 teeth CNC alloy servo horn, just to make sure we've got plenty of strength in that steering. The Capra kit does of course come with stainless steel steering links already, so it's got quite a lot of strength built in. It just seemed to make sense to bolster that with the alloy steering horn. I've got a team associated servo saver, which I'm potentially going to use as part of the modifications to get the dig to work with the Power HD servo. Again, I'll cover off in another video as to whether I actually use that and if it works. Some more upgrade components from SSD. This is the alloy steering servo mount and the alloy dig servo mounts that I also bought. So that should give us a little bit more steering rigidity again and get past the problems that have been highlighted with the dig servo mountings, the plastic ones in the kit, having a degree of flex. Moving on to the receiver, I've got an Apsima 6-channel receiver. That's to match up with the Apsima 6-channel radio that I bought when I put together the Coyote kit. Really pleased with this radio. I think it offers a lot of great features for the money. It's performed well so far in the Coyote, and I'm sure that it'll perform well in the Capra. It's obviously got more channels than I need for the Capra, but that radio does have to be specifically paired with its 6-channel receivers. So you get that extra channel benefit for operating other features on the truck, such as lights and so on and so forth. Motor-wise, I've gone for a Apsima 35-turn thrust B-spec rebuildable brushed motor. As I said at the start, I've not gone brushless with this build to keep the budget down a little bit. So I'm happy to stay with the brushed motor for the time being. I am curious to explore brushless going forward, but at this point I'm going to keep costs down a little bit and keep things a bit simpler for myself by sticking to a brushed motor. I've teamed that up with the Hobbywing 1080 electronic speed controller. I've got one of those in the Coyote as well, which I think is a great speed controller for brushed motors. The combination of the Apsima 55-turn motor and the 1080 in the Coyote gives me amazing low speed control, really slow pickup, really slow start speeds, very controllable. I am in two minds a little bit about running a 35-turn in the Capra. Some reports, some reviews have said that it's a little high geared and needs a higher turn motor to bring the speed down. But the reason I bought the 35-turn is potentially, actually, this one's got slightly too many turns on it with the 55-turn, so I can swap between them in the trucks and see which works best in both trucks. In terms of powering that system, I've made a slight departure for myself around Neems in the Coyote kit, which was a little bit more familiar territory for me from back in the days when I was a kid and I was running some Tamiya RCs. Oh gosh. I've moved to some LiPo batteries for the Capra. That was very much a decision that was kind of made for me. Somebody familiar with the kit will know that the battery compartment in the Capra is quite constrained, so in terms of being able to get a decent amount of power in the LiPos just make a lot more sense. I've gone for a couple of 3S batteries, one from Overlander, which is a 22 mAh battery, and then one from Genesys, which is a 1300 mAh battery. The Overlander battery is probably on the larger side in terms of what will fit in the Capra, and it might be a tight squeeze, but as the build progresses I'll let you know how that goes in terms of fitment, and also let you see how much space spare we've got, or not is the case with this battery, to give you an idea of what might be available out there to fit. And as ever, as necessary with LiPos, I've got myself a fireproof bag for storage, particularly when charging those batteries, as there is a greatly increased risk of fire with these batteries over the NIM batteries that were used in the Coyote build. So that pretty much rounds up the majority of the components that I've bought to put this Capra together. I'm really excited to get into it. I've had to kind of wait for all this stuff to arrive before I start opening things, and that's been really tough, I'll be honest, to not start ripping this stuff open and start getting into the parts. I've not opened the Capra yet, so the next thing I'll go through on my next video is an unboxing of the Capra kit, having a look at the basic components, and then we'll move on to a series of videos as the build progresses to talk through the things that I've talked about today in terms of adding the extra parts, what's working, what doesn't work, the dig modifications, and so on and so forth. So I hope you've enjoyed my first video, guys. I've really enjoyed putting it together, although it's been quite nerve-wracking in some ways, and I'm sure there'll be lots of stuff on the edit floor by the time we get this finished. But hope you've enjoyed it, and see you again soon. Bye.